And I think it's probably, like I would describe it, the closest you get to being on a football team. Hiring the right people with the right attitudes from a diverse set of backgrounds is really key to making sure we build a really great team for Euro 2028. To make sure you're making most of the opportunities provided to you. And if they're not provided to you, go and find them. Not everything's handed to you on a plate.
Jennie, thank you so much for coming to our Wembley campus today. Please just tell us your name and your role.
Brilliant. So thanks for having me. I'm Jennie Cooper. I'm Head of Planning and Readiness at Euro 2028, working for the local organising committee, which is based here in Wembley, UK and Ireland 2028.
That sounds like an amazing job title and something that's really cool, but has a lot of work behind it. So
Yeah.
can you go into your role a little bit and tell us what that's about?
Sure. So essentially, if you were to boil it down, my role is to make sure that the tournament is ready to be delivered on time. And that, in a sentence, is what I'm here with a fantastic team to do. But that doesn't come without its challenges. When I say we, I mean really the royal we, and that extends to UEFA, who own the rights to the tournament, ourselves as a local organising structure or committee. And then you look at our host cities, our stadiums, our government partners, mobility operators, kind of the list is endless, and we kind of need to make sure we're all aligned and we are testing our plans and ready to deliver come the 9th of June 2028.
So we've had a bit of time and we've got a bit of time to go. Are you confident in delivering it?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's an amazing partnership across all those stakeholders I mentioned. Yeah, we're on track. We're moving really from that kind of strategic phase. So we talked about big picture, knowing where we're going to be operating, what cities we're going to, bringing our stakeholders on the journey to really getting into that next detail of operational planning. So yeah, confident, very much so, and we're building a fantastic team to deliver it.
Amazing. And we've known for a few years now it's going to be in UK and Ireland in 2028. So when, from your point of view, when did all like the planning start? Is it like it's announced and it's the next day? Or was it like, right, we've got 6 months and then we're going to start properly? Like how did it all start, the planning process?
Yeah, that's a really, really good question. So it started with what they call a bid team. And that was kind of driven out of Wembley and the English FA, but actually it was a multi-bid from multiple nations across England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. And there was a very small bid team at that time, but that's really corralling all the partners, the governments, like what money we're going to have, and through to kind of what legacy we want to leave. Sorry. And so then it was announced by UEFA that we won that bid, and then you head into kind of what's called a transition period. So you move out that bid phase, and you're looking at to how are we going to actually set up this model, how are we going to operate as a company and deliver this mega event. And so it was April 2025, so last year, that the company set up, and I joined slightly after that. So three months into the kind of the company going live, so to speak, I joined the team, and I think I was number 19 in the door, and we're now at 56,
I was
57.
going to say there must be quite a few.
Yeah, and then we'll be 100 by the end of the year, 200 next year, and then we'll really ramp up into hundreds of people ready to deliver in 2028.
So on that then,
Mm.
once the finals held and the last ball's kicked,
Mm.
is that it then for everyone?
Yeah, so from a UK and Ireland 2028 perspective, we are a company with a finite operating period. So we'll essentially operate for about 4 years in total. But after that final whistle, a lot of us will then, our contracts will end and we'll look to the next stage in our careers.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're kind of working through who finishes what when and what reports need to be written, and, questionnaires and impact reports and stuff need to be done. But yeah.
So you said you were 19th in the door and there's going to be hundreds more. Is it everything from people working on the ground for match days and stuff like that, who'll be more working on match days itself, all the way through to you, who are obviously part of the whole process? Is it both of those?
Yeah, absolutely. So we started off with our directors, our senior management team led by Chris Bryant, who's our managing director. And really they're responsible for finance and business. Oh, I need to get this right now. HR operations, which includes volunteers, host relations, which is like our host cities, comms, government relations, impact and legacy. We have mobility, which is kind of all things transport. We have security, we have operations and legal. So that senior management team have really grown the team from themselves and are like have made what we are today and what we will be. And then we'll fulfill roles across all of those different areas. And some of them will have very short-term contracts, like maybe for the tournament specifically, to your point, to deliver maybe a hospitality lounge or be a volunteer manager at a venue, through to people who have a longer term contract because they're kind of involved in that detailed planning before we go live.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Sounds, yeah, like a big operation. Speaking of which,
Mhm.
has there been any obstacles so far? And if there has, how have you overcome them?
Yeah, so there's been plenty. Plenty. But I think if you look at the big picture, like you're seeing it now at the FIFA World Cup, like they're delivering a humongous tournament across three massive countries. And, we kind of have that same issue to some extent because we've got that in UK and Ireland. So with that comes a really complicated stakeholder landscape, really complicated kind of funding structure, etc. And so kind of working with all those stakeholders to make sure there's a really consistent service level across all of our cities, our stadiums, and for not only our fans, but people who get involved in our community program or kind of some of our VIP guests, etc. Kind of getting that consistent look and feel of our tournament across UK and Ireland is a massive challenge and something we'll feel at all stages of our planning, but something we're really mindful of. And in terms of how we overcome that, it is around kind of bringing our stakeholders along the journey, making sure everyone understands their roles and responsibilities and what it is we need to deliver, and building those really good rapport with those people so you can pick up the phone, sort out issues before they become really big problems.
Nice. And with it, you touched on it a minute ago, but
Mm,
with it being such a massive operation, can you just touch on
mm,
the different sides of like the organization? Like we've got a load of students that do events management, we've
mhm.
got coaching, we've got media and broadcasting, we've got PR. So if you could just
Yeah.
touch on those sort of roles that might come available in the tournament, that'd
Yeah.
be great help.
Well, I think I would say it's a bit cheesy, but I would say that the bedrock of our tournament is the 13,000-ish, maybe plus volunteers we will need to recruit, and they'll be across loads of different roles. Everything from kind of event control rooms
Yeah.
to out with kind of foam fingers, engaging with the fans to hospitality suites. And then in terms of kind of roles we'll be recruiting for, we will have kind of we still have like quite a few business related roles, so whether that be in our finance team or readiness in my team or HR, through to kind of operational roles, so whether that be in guest management or host city transport, or kind of in our stadium liaison team working with our stadium. So a huge variety, and yeah, we're constantly putting jobs online on our LinkedIn page.
Nice. Well, I'll get people to come check
Yeah.
that out then. Yeah, yeah. What is a link? What is a LinkedIn page?
Well, if you just type in UK and Ireland 2028, then you'll find us, follow us, and it's all there.
Yeah, because there's
Yeah.
going to be loads of opportunities. Like,
100%.
yeah, our students, like I touched on it earlier, but they're out of the World Cup at the minute. For the last Euros in Germany, they're out doing all sorts, whether it's volunteering and stuff like that. And then even
Yeah.
for like the playoffs, we had a lot of students that volunteered doing media duties or like even a flag waving on the pitch. So there's all sorts of stuff
There
that you can
really
get
is.
involved in. Was it always sport?
Yeah, it was for me, really. I realised from quite a young age I was never going to be a sporting superstar. So I wanted to find another way that I could remain involved. There's so many different ways you can be involved in sport. It doesn't have to be major events, it can be participation, etc. But I just love the kind of global stage of a major sport event. And I think the pressure that comes with it. And I think that pressure is an absolute privilege because people love sport, particularly love football, and yeah, it's a privilege to be kind of organising a tournament of this scale, for yeah, UK and Ireland.
Brings everyone together as well, which I think
Yeah,
we're seeing them with the World Cup at the minute. Like
100%.
all countries, all religions, everything. Like a lot of rubbish in the world in a minute, but I think this World Cup, everyone's been, oh, actually, we can actually get along and stuff like that. So, yeah, no, amazing, and I'm sure that will carry on into the Euros, which I can't wait. The fact that it's in London, like I know 5 years ago it was in London as well, but it was also in Rome, in all the other
Yeah.
countries, but to have one that's going to be predominantly sort of England, obviously Ireland as well, or UK and Ireland. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And it'd be nice also to have England dotted around.
Yeah,
Whereas the
definitely.
last Euros, we went over to Italy for one game, but the rest of them were at Wembley, which was great, although it was a 40% capacity and all that
Yeah,
other stuff. So this Euros is going to be a lot different to the one that we've
100%.
just had, I believe.
Yeah.
Um, but on to education then.
Mm.
Why do you think education is so important if you're wanting to go into these type of roles within sport?
I just think it gives you kind of a strong knowledge base and foundation for your future. And I kind of touched on it in how I kind of treated university. It isn't necessarily just about the education is the physical degree you get at the end of it, but it's that journey you have whilst you're at that higher education institute. So, yeah, getting yourselves involved in any volunteering opportunities, student committees, sports teams, like how can you make sure you leave university with more than a degree so you stand out when you're kind of making those applications to UK and Ireland or otherwise. So, yeah, yeah, I do think it's incredibly important.
Brilliant. And then you did touch on this earlier, but what is
Mm.
the one thing you love about working in the sports industry?
Yeah, so I think I mentioned earlier about the pressure and the global stage and that being a complete privilege. But the only reason you can kind of cope with that and manage that well is because you work alongside incredible people.
Yeah.
And that kind of camaraderie and that team you build is just like nothing else really.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably like I would describe it the closest you get to being on a football team. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
you know you're all in the kind of change room back of house like,
Yeah.
and yeah you kind of like start to build this team who understands exactly what it takes to deliver something of this size and scale. And yeah, it's not it's definitely not a one person job.
No,
So
exactly.
hiring the right people with the right attitudes from a diverse set of backgrounds is really key to making sure we build a really great team for Euro 2028.
And as well, within working in sport, you've obviously got your day jobs and you've got stuff to do, whether it's
Mm,
the admin and whatnot.
mm.
But a lot of the workforce love sport as well,
Yeah.
which makes it, I thought, but to make it easier, makes it more enjoyable, I think. So you
Yeah.
can talk about the stuff that happened yesterday or happened at the weekend or
Yeah.
even if people play sport. So yeah, I think that's one thing that I really love about working in sport.
Yeah.
Um, and lastly, what is
Mhm.
one piece of advice you'd give to anyone who wants to pursue a career in the sports industry?
Yeah, so I think I have touched on it throughout
Yeah.
this chat, but really to make sure you're making most of the opportunities provided to you, and if they're not provided to you, go and find them. Not everything's handed to you on a plate, and so you kind of got to get out there and go get it, and just make sure that you're kind of building that experience and your network from an early age, and maintaining that going forward. So, yeah, doing things that make you kind of stand out from those or everyone else who might have got a sporting degree, and making sure you're taking yourself to the next level in terms of when it comes to applying for roles.